Hello, my name is Paul. For those of you who have watched my video channel before, welcome back. Beginning in the fall of 2021, I began a number of long-distance motorcycle camping trips. This included a Four Corners tour and another trip to visit all remaining 48 contiguous United States. I will include a link to those video series if you are interested in watching them. During my previous travels, I visited 32 national parks, but still missed 19 parks located in the 48 states. I decided this year to again travel west from my home in Connecticut to the western and southern United States to visit most of the national parks I missed on my previous trips. I hope you will join me on this extended moto camping journey riding my 2020 Suzuki V-Strom. I plan to also stop at a number of other places of interest on my route as I cross the North American continent and return, a trip planned of over 9,000 miles. The first 4 days of this journey in episode 1 start right now.
It is September 1st of 2024, and I have started a journey heading westwards, California, via Texas. My goal is to try to visit as many national parks as I can over the next 6 to 8 weeks. I left my house around noon, and they promise great weather over the next few days. So I am at the Connecticut-New York border. Got many thousands of miles ahead of me. Got a campsite that's about 3 hours away, crossing the Hudson River. I am on Interstate 84 and just came through a rainstorm. The weather's cleared a little bit. There's the mighty Hudson River. Finally put the rain behind me. It is about 2:15 in the afternoon. Still have about an hour and 45 minutes to go. And I passed out of New York into Pennsylvania. The weather turned absolutely gorgeous. So I think I'm on the other side of the weather front that was moving through northeastern United States. McAdoo, Pennsylvania. Stopping here for groceries. I guess I still have another 20-25 minutes to get to the state park. I am closing in on Locust Lake State Park. I have 3 miles to go. A little past 4:30 in the evening. I've got some groceries. Locust Lake State Park. I think I've been here before. So there is the lake. This is Locust Lake in Locust Lake State Park. Rained a little bit overnight, but it's supposed to be a glorious day, and it's certainly starting out to be that way. Small town of Pennsylvania, Ashland. Passing over the Susquehanna River. I am really glad I stayed off the expressway today. The riding has just been superb here in western Pennsylvania. And the weather's been delightful too. It's about 68 to 70 degrees. We're going through farm fields, small towns, little traffic. The roads have been in really good shape, so I'm very happy that I made the decision to stay off the expressway. The afternoon of day 2, and I'm approaching Johnstown, Pennsylvania, where there was a famous flood that took place as a result of a dam failure. And I read a popular book about it, a historical book, a couple years ago. It just so happens to be on my path out to the west. So I decided to visit it. There is a National Historic Park here which explains the flood. When the dam failed, it came roaring down the valley, this Pennsylvania Valley that I'm about to enter, and it took out virtually everything and everyone in its path. There we go. Johnstown Flood National Memorial Visitor Center. So I must be up where the dam was, because I think Johnstown is still 10-15 miles south of where I'm located. So this is the valley which held back Lake Conemaugh. There's a dam here on May 31st, 1889, after huge rainfall. The South Fork Dam, as it was called, gave way, and the lake completely drained out. In less than an hour, a wall of churning water and debris hit the city of Johnstown, 14 miles downstream. Death toll exceeded 2,200 people. So here we are. The Conemaugh existed, 1889. This is where the dam was. And it ran all the way down to Johnstown. Completely took the town out. Shows you some of the pictures of the flood damage. I watched the film, saw the exhibits. I'm going to go down and see the dam, which broke. It took the water something like 45 minutes to wind its way down the valley, but at some point it was reaching 40 miles an hour, and the wave was something like 40 feet tall. There's two sides of the dam are still visible. You can visit both sides. I think I'm just going to do this north side. I am standing where the lake was, and you can see the dam there on the right and the left where the more recent railroad track runs through, and you can see the cut where the dam broke through. But this was all water. It was several miles long and a mile wide at the point when the lake was here. But there was 20 million tons of water that dropped 450 feet over 14 miles in 57 minutes, formed a wall of water, they say up to 75 feet high, traveling 40 miles per hour. Over 2,200 people were killed. A little after 2 o'clock, my next stop today is the Flight 93 Memorial, which is the location where the aircraft went down on 9/11 here in Pennsylvania after it was hijacked during that infamous day. So there's a National Park historic site there with a visitor center, and they have the field where the plane went down. Not too far from here, 40 minutes. And then after that I'll get some groceries and go to camp at Ohiopyle State Park in Pennsylvania. Next week it'll be 23 years. September 11th. Remember the day vividly. Here we are in the middle of Pennsylvania. This is where Flight 93 went down. This is the visitor center. No photography allowed in the visitor center, understandably so. Some very nice exhibits, and described the final minutes of Flight 93 and the brave passengers that tried to overtake the terrorists in the cockpit. So I'm going down to the Memorial Plaza. They have a large boulder in the field, which is the point of to memorialize the point of impact, and then near that is what was the debris field. This is the Laurel Highland Scenic Byway. This is the borough of Ohiopyle. Falls Market bailed me out for dinner and breakfast. Got a couple things to eat at least. Ohiopyle State Park, Connecticut Campground and Amphitheater.
About all I could come up with for dinner. So Cheez-Its, Italian sub, banana, and one of two cupcakes, the other one for breakfast, along with a sweet tea. That's really the only place I saw within the last hour of riding. Beggars can't be choosy. The morning of day 3. All packed up and ready to go.
Good morning, it's day 3. Got chilly last night, probably 46, 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Got off to a little bit of a slow start. I took a shower this morning and kind of took my time around the campsite. It's just a couple minutes after 9 o'clock in the morning. Absolutely gorgeous day. I'm going back down into the borough of Ohiopyle, where Ohiopyle it's a huge park. Something like 20,000 plus acres. The biggest state park in Pennsylvania. And they're known for the river that runs through it that has whitewater with I believe it's class 3 and class 4 whitewater rapids. I'm going to go down and just see a small section of it that's right there in the borough. So it's a very popular park for a whole variety of reasons, including whitewater, kayaking, canoeing. It's got rock climbing, tons of hiking. So there's quite a few activities here, and during the summer it's one of the most used state parks in Pennsylvania. But last night it was pretty empty where I was. Today I'm headed over into Ohio to continue my way west and south in the United States. So I've got about, I don't know, 230, 240 miles of travel today. Steep grade, sharp curves, RVs and buses use lowest gear. A little gravel in the corner there. This is a little borough I was at yesterday. Bogman Rock Overlook. That was Cucumber Falls. It's my last stop here in Ohiopyle State Park. On my way to Ohio. This whole area is part of the Allegheny Mountains, and there is a passage here called the Allegheny Passage. It allowed settlers from the east coast of the United States up in the northeastern United States to transit the Allegheny Mountains and start to populate what we call the Midwest. Ohio, Michigan, and westward I'm still in the mountains here, but at some point I am going to get to a spot where it will flatten out.
Stockade from Fort Necessity. The French did not burn when they tore out Fort Necessity after the surrender. There's the tree line where the French and American Indians started their attack on Fort Necessity.
So that was a really nice National Historic Park. But I am now seriously behind on my schedule. It's noon time and I still have over 5 hours of riding ahead of me. So I throw in a grocery stop. I'm supposed to tend to my chain too, because I'm about 75 miles from the 600 mile mark, which is where I service my chain. I'm riding through the Forbes State Forest land. I think my elevation must be up there a little bit. So I rode a steep road up and then it flattened out. Just entered West Virginia. I stopped and serviced my chain, filled up my tank, and I switched my GPS to allow interstate since I am behind schedule. Did shave some time off, maybe 20-25 minutes. Hoping to get in there still by 5 o'clock. That's without a grocery stop, so probably more like 5:30. Well, I'm glad I put the selection onto allowing interstate, because I was only on the interstate for about 5 miles, and then it got me off onto this Route 50, which is going to be another 81 miles on this. So the benefit of that short interstate was that it got me around Clarksburg. I am crossing out of West Virginia into Ohio. That is nothing else but the Ohio River. Separates West Virginia and Ohio. 13 minutes after 5 o'clock in the evening. I made a reservation at this Johnstown Lake State Park here in Ohio. I've got about 5 miles to go to the grocery store, and then only a couple miles beyond that is the state park, which is a very small state park. Getting there, just got out of the grocery store. Real short ride between the grocery store and Johnstown Lake State Park. I don't think I've been here before. This does not look familiar, especially in this part of Ohio. This must be Jackson Lake here. Fairly open campground. Alright. Home sweet home. Camp number 19. Not too bad. Nice little spot to set up my tent. Jackson Lake State Park. I'm all set up. Site number 19. 6:15. Ready for dinner. That's my $3, I'm not kidding you, $3 chicken dinner. Comes from showing up at the end of the day, and the lady behind the counter was trying to move food. She actually asked me whether I wanted another piece or two of chicken. I said no, there's no way I was going to eat more than 2 pieces. And then a fudge brownie, Snapple, and a banana. Not bad. I'm famished. Well, good morning. It's day number 4 here in Ohio. I'm all packed up, ready to go. It's around 8:30 in the morning. Had about 5.5 hours of riding down to Kentucky. And it should be a glorious day. It started off as such. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Winds are calm. Temperatures are moderate. Good night's sleep. I am ready to rock and roll. It's a nice campground last night. Weather's supposed to be good today. It's supposed to get up to near 82 degrees Fahrenheit. And the weather for the next couple days looks like it's supposed to be pretty good. I am deep in the heartland of Ohio. Passing through farm after farm. Not altogether unpleasant riding. Filled up my fuel tank, cleaned my windscreen. I'm on US Route 52, the Ohio River Scenic Byway. The Ohio River is just to my left, separating, I believe at this point, Ohio and Kentucky. And at some point I will cross over from Ohio into Kentucky. I am crossing the mighty Ohio River. Just passed a sign that I'm on the Lewis and Clark Trail. It really struck a chord with me. There's the mighty Ohio. I just finished a book about Lewis and Clark the day before I left. Won't be on it long because they were headed northwest. I'm headed southwest. But to know that they passed through this territory, that's pretty cool. Those guys had guts. Let me tell you, you want to read about an expedition of tough men and a woman, Sacagawea, American native that they took along with them. And she was about as tough as the men, and she was carrying a baby. Here we go, into the state of Kentucky. Kentucky farmland, Route 324. It's southwest. Slowing down for the Amish. Scaring there. I think that was a pony. Roads of Kentucky never disappoint. Back to the horse farms of Kentucky. Definitely in the Midwest. Land's starting to flatten out. Town of Lebanon, Kentucky. Nice little town. I'm headed down towards Campbellsville, where there's a grocery store located, and then a short ride from there over to the state park. And I am about ready to break 1,000 miles on this trip. 999.9 miles. So by the time I get to camp, 4 days, be a little over 250 miles a day that I've been averaging. Bike has been working great. Ride's been really good. There we go, 1,000 miles. See that? Green River Lake State Park. Now last time I was here was pretty full, and I was back in this center lane. Looks like P25. Now I got a water site. I ended up taking site 17 to get away from the RVs in case they run their air conditioning tonight. It's about 84 degrees right now, so it's a little bit warm and a touch humid. But I got a spot right here on the lake, so it should be nice. I'm gonna finish setting up camp and then grab something to eat for dinner. So I went to Kroger's and was a little disappointed in what they had to offer. They didn't really have any selection of meats where I could buy an individual size. So this is what I ended up with: a roll and some watermelon, cake for dessert, banana, and a Diet Dr. Pepper. The view is kind of hard to beat. And it's nice and quiet here.